Hello and welcome back. So, in today's video we're finally gonna put the guitar back together. The lacquer is hardened, it's been leveled. After that we polished the guitar and now all we have left to do is we're gonna put all the hardware on the body and then we're gonna put the pickup in and the electronics, the output jack, you know, screw everything down, maybe put some strings on it as well, and then we are gonna finally get to play it and try it out and see what it sounds like. Hopefully we are gonna enjoy the sound, or at least hopefully I'll enjoy the sound and you'll enjoy the video. Okay, so my first little trick, that when you go to drill out these, if you remember I said I only care about making pilot holes. If you make pilot holes, there are two benefits. First off, more accuracy where you are going to drill when you're finally done, but also you have to make a little hole to get into this cavity to put in a ground wire. And if you almost all the time when you drill from the corner down like this, you're gonna muck up the edge a little bit. So if you have something like this size hole, and you drill, and then you're gonna drill a bigger hole, that little mark that becomes very visible will probably not be a part of the end result where the ferrule goes in. And that's a good thing, because we don't need that. So now I'm gonna drill these out so I can plug these in. And first I'm gonna measure these, and then I am going to drill. I'm going to use one of these to get started so that the bit won't wander, and I'm just going to drill down to 10. And then I can switch it out and drill the rest of the way. I just take this, I hold it like that. Then I know the depths, and I can stick this part down and see that it's gone down far enough. Something like that. Perfect. Okay, so the next thing I do is I find the little hole that I made and I push a ground wire through, and in one end I have stripped away a bunch of cable, and then this part is maybe a little bit fiddly. I try to curl it around the exposed pole piece, and I try to tug it in between so that the wire will get pinched up against the metal as I'm forcing this down. You can bang this in, you can push it in, there's a lot of different things you can do. What I like to do is hold the guitar up and take one of these clamps and just with the force of screwing in, pushing it in. And that will most of the time allow me to press it into the body slowly without any real issues. And I just go back and forth, I release the clamp, and I go and I clamp it down again, and I go like that a couple of times until I'm happy with it and I'm certain that it's down. The next part is just to screw in the poles for the bridge. And to feed the ground wire from the bridge into the cavity and out the back. Something like that. Okay, we put the wires from the pickup through. It's a little bit fiddly because this one has one of those metal shield wires, so they love to bundle up. And you're just gonna have to try to see if you can get it in there. But if you can't, what you do is you solder something to the other end. And now you can take this wire that I've soldered together with it, and I can feed this one through instead, and I can basically force the other wire through. Lift this up, take the other wire and just pull it, and there we have it. And then we can just put the pickup in place, something like that, and we'll drill some holes, something like that, and we'll put the screws in, and then we'll just drive them in. I'll start off like that, and then I'll take and do the rest with a hand screwdriver, just so that I don't strip something or make some other mistake. Okay, so first off, I'm putting a towel down and I'm bending my wires over, just to try and make sure that if I accidentally drop some solder, it won't damage the guitar. Hopefully. You never know what you're gonna do until you've done it. I'm gonna strip back this ground wire, which means removing the plastic. And then I am gonna put some solder down on it. I don't think you can see it, but that's what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna take this other wire and I'm gonna peel it back, and I'm gonna put some solder on this lead wire, and I'm also gonna put some solder on this wire that is basically just metal. And the reason is because that is actually the ground on this particular pickup. So I'm gonna put some on, and then I'm actually gonna feed this ground wire into it, just so that both the bridge and the pickup is grounded. And it's a little bit fiddly, but it's not that difficult. And then here we have the wire that we did earlier. You can put it back into the piece of wood where I had everything mounted. And if you remember how we did things last time, we need to connect these ground wires, but we also need to connect this signal for the lead. So we're going to try to pull this back, and we're going to try to feed it in there, hopefully without too much hassle, and something like that maybe. I'm going to add some more just to make sure the connection is solid, and then just try to push that cloth back as much as possible so that it doesn't touch the outer side of the pot. And then over here I'm just gonna try to melt them together. Ground of the pickup, which is this metal wire, and the soldering connection where all the other ground wires are connected to. Something like that. And then we're just gonna leave it for a couple of seconds, just like this, and then we're just gonna feel it and tug it a little bit to see if everything is nice and connected, which it is. And so now we can just remove this, push this to the side, and we can push the volume pot into its place and the tone pot into its place, and then these two wires will go out here to where the output jack is going to be, but we're going to connect that in a second. Okay, so the pots are through. We put the little metal ring on, and then we put the washer, and first we just finger tight it down, and we do that to both of them. We put the ring and finger tight down. And then I have one of these that I've built that allows me to get close and to screw it down. This one was the wrong size, so let me go and fetch the right one. Okay, so I feed the wire through here. It's a little bit tight, and the blue one is the ground wire. It gets connected to the sleeve, which is this one, and I just hold the two pieces together and let the solder from one part melt into the solder of the other. Something like that. Turn it around and I hold the other part. It's very difficult to film these sort of small things, but there it goes. As you can see, there is one and there is the other. And now I can just basically push it in, and now I just need to measure out and drill holes, and then we're good to go. So I start off by measuring the thickness, and then I divide it by half, and then I make a mark where I want to put the strap, and then I drill a hole. And then I put the strap button in place, and I screw in the screw, just like I did before. Okay, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push these in, and I'm gonna start them off by hand just to try to make them align properly, and then I'm gonna take a clamp with my plastic protectors on, and I'm just gonna basically push them in by tightening the clamp like this. I know that there are tools out there to do this. StewMac, for example, sells them, and they're probably really good tools, but I just don't really see why you need them when you can do it like this. It's not something that is super difficult to do. You just press it in with the clamp, and you just have to go back and forth a little bit and have some patience. It only takes a couple of seconds. Something like that. And we're on to the next one. Just do the same thing again. We just push it in place and take the clamp and squeeze it in. Okay, so it's time to put in the tuners. I'm just gonna drop one in like this. I'm gonna take the screws and align them with the holes that were already there when I started, and I'm gonna try to screw them in. fuck. That wasn't supposed to happen. And just hold this in place while the super glue dries. Okay, so the guitar is done, and here it is. Only thing left to do is put some strings on it and see what it sounds like. So let's do that now. So that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the guitar. And maybe you'll stick around to see the next thing I make and build and stuff like that. And I'll see you then. If you have any thoughts or questions about the guitar or anything I did in the video or in the video series, let me know. Take care now. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one, hopefully. Bye bye.